where he is up in the booth. He told us this week he can see things a lot clearer. Oh my goodness,
what
Deuce
a
Vaughn.
Run. Deuce Vaughn, first time they...
Says on the beat, boy.
Yeah. Cause he wanna light. Headlights, I've been whipping midnight through the city. I've been going through some things, tryna get my mind right. Push the bucket to the lip, push that bitch into the fence. Gotta get the full control, gotta get my mind right. Headlights, I've been whipping midnight through the city. I've been going through some things, tryna get my mind right. Push the bucket to the lip, push that bitch into the fence. Gotta get the full control, gotta get my mind right. Yeah.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation? It's your boy DMV back with another one, holding the Joe Barty, because we're going to preach positive things this season, man. We're going to preach positive things, man. And the Cowboys faced off against the Seattle Seahawks yesterday in preseason week 2, man. And so I had the opportunity to watch some of it last night. I'm not going to lie to y'all, passed out. Your boy has been running on fumes, so I got a chance to rewatch it this morning. I took detailed notes, and I know that's why you guys are here. Before you do anything else, man, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into it, man. So Rico Dowdle, man, he set the tone yesterday. He did it a lot of the tough trait things that I talked about last week that I really wanted to see with him. I think he had an opportunity to really watch the film, hone in on his craft this week. And I think that he improved very, very much. So much that, you know, I feel comfortable with rolling with Rico in week 1. You know, I liked what I saw yesterday. I saw all of the things, all of the critical things that I talked about last week, and he was able to pick up his play. 14-13 of the second quarter. He had an excellent blitz pickup. Those are the things I wanted to see. I wanted to see real running back things from him. Driving your feet through contact, blitz pickup, for those that have played the position, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And he actually scored a touchdown in the game off of a pass play. I think he was he lined up outside? I think he was. He was an out route. And, he scored a touchdown. He was in the slot, I believe he was. Or it might have been out of the backfield. I can't remember. I just remember him completing the play and finishing it. And those were the things that I wanted to see from Rico. I wanted to see him finish plays. And he did an excellent job of that this week. Jalen Tolbert, man, is an absolute problem. He became the go-to guy for the Cowboys in the game, drew an offensive pass interference on a play that he finished and actually, caught this week. So it was very similar to the play last week. But Jalen Tolbert's becoming a downfield guy. He's becoming a guy that's a possession guy. He's becoming an all-around weapon. And I'm really, really happy to see that he's progressed into the player that he's becoming. Cooper Rush showed a lot of poise. He showed a lot of experience in the game. Converted a couple of 3rd and 4th downs that, I don't think that he would have done a year ago. But that experience when Dak was out last year, I think has made him more comfortable to deal with situations. And then, it being the 12th man, it wasn't necessarily a regular season game, but the fans were there. They were charged up. They were ready to see some football. And Cooper Rush did a pretty good job while he was in. The offensive line struggled a bit at times, but I think for the most part, Cooper, when he had a clean pocket, he was able to make the decisions that he needed to. And I thought that he had a pretty good game yesterday. DeMario Overshown, messed up his knee, twisted it on the tackle. I think that things are getting confirmed right now. It might get confirmed while I'm doing this video, but he made a great play on the play that he twisted up his leg. And, I had to tell somebody this who, felt really, really bad about the situation. I said, well, here's the thing about it, right? The young bull, he going to be with the best medical care in the business. So he's going to come back stronger than ever. You know what I'm saying? It sucks for what it means right now as far as the roster goes and what his role was going to be. But with how deep this defense is, really Overshown was just a cherry on top. But with what this defense is and what we have, we're going to be fine. So just wish him a speedy recovery. And, I think things will be just fine. Speaking of young guys, Eric Scott is this far off. Like in practice, he shows us that he has the ability to be a really good corner in this league. And it's something that he kind of struggles with. And in my analysis of him before seeing anything, like based off his college tape, sometimes he can kind of struggle with mirroring out of press. And, he can be manipulated. Remember I told you guys that then. And it happened in the game a couple of times, actually. It happened where, he got beat with his feet. And he allowed the receiver to kind of stack or release the way that they wanted to release. They were able to manipulate him and get to where they wanted to get to. And JSN kind of, took him to the woodshed. He took him to the woodshed on one of those routes. And, he's got some learning to do. But he'll be okay. He'll be fine. He has the tools. Penalties. Got to clean that up. We had some bonehead penalties. Unsportsmanlike on Wanye. You know what I'm saying? Like, unsportsmanlike that would have got us off the field. Roughing the pass on Sam Williams in a situation where it allowed them closer to the goal line. Offensive line, you know what I'm saying? Right before half, we had 2 penalties. Penalties have always been an Achilles heel for us, especially under Mike McCarthy. And we got to clean those things up. I know that it's preseason. I know that a lot of these people that are making the penalties aren't going to be the guys that are out there. But remember, this is something from the culture that we're trying to clean up. And it was pretty ugly football game when it came to that. Deuce Vaughn. And I put this on my note sheet. I put, wow. Deuce Vaughn with another TD, wow, on his first carry. And, outside of that, we struggled up front a lot of the time that he was in there running the football. He had some flash plays here and there, but, the blocking up front, allowed it to where he didn't really have a chance at some of those plays in there. But when he did, Deuce Vaughn was Deuce Vaughn. And I think that he's carved out a role for himself on this team. I think that the telecast said something along the lines of, he's just not a third down back. And I definitely agree with that. They said they can hand him the ball on first and second down. I definitely agree with that. I wholeheartedly believe with that. Defensively, we struggled with play action, and I don't know if it was more so just communicating. It looked like we struggled with the wrinkles within the play action. So, for example, it might have been, a play action roll, and then the tight end would do a late release, and we didn't have anybody there. And that comes with experience because they're young guys, and they don't understand the wrinkles, and we're going full-fledged because we see a quarterback, and then, we've been doing that as of late. We have some wrinkles in our game with the play action, and Seattle was able to take advantage of that a couple of times. So, that's something for the young guys to see on tape and, really react to it and try and figure out how to fix it. The telecast said something, and go back to Deuce Vaughn. They said something along the lines of Deuce Vaughn was with the ones this week. And it led me to believe that a lot of the coverage of the Cowboys and their camp, there are other people out there really watching, and they're able to kind of go out there and scout players that are either struggling or that are having, some success, and they're able to, attack that. I told somebody this. I said, as a player, as a coach, I've done this before. If I could find any little wrinkle, an Instagram video or something on YouTube or something that I can use to my advantage, I'm going to do so. And with the Cowboys' camp being so open, I think that happens a lot of the time. And some of these players are able to come in here and attack some of the areas of weakness. Like, for example, Mozzie Smith being one of them. I didn't think Mozzie Smith had a great day yesterday. He had an okay day, but it wasn't a great day. Getting off the ball was a bit of trouble for him. So I think Seattle was able to kind of scheme up against that a little bit. And I think that they had some success. Kelvin Joseph had another PBU at the 8:06 mark in the third quarter. Kelvin Joseph has played pretty well as of late out of the slot. And both preseason games, I thought Kelvin Joseph has played well. So I think Kelvin is going to make this team. And I think that, and if he does, remember, he's going to be one of your top special teams players, and he can play the slot. I think that Kelvin's putting together a pretty good camp for himself. I think it was a little rocky at first, but Kelvin has been solid, and it definitely deserves mentioning. And then lastly, not lastly, but Will Greer is being Will Greer, up and down. Driving down the field, throw a pick in the red zone. I think Cooper Rush has definitely proved that he's the better quarterback of the two, especially out of these two preseason games. And I think the experience last year allowed Cooper Rush to have, the poise that we're seeing from him. So, Isaiah Land, this is the last point I'm going to make about players. Isaiah Land is a problem, guys. You can see him, actually practicing the surf against the run and all of those things. And at times he's unblockable. You know what I'm saying? I think that he's going to make this team clearly, and he's going to be a guy that is going to be in the rotation. He's a problem. That's what I put in capital letters. Isaiah Land, you know what I'm saying? And a couple of guys got to jump on that, definitely. But the first person that really started hearing talk about that was when Aisha was talking on the draft show, Aisha Morrison. Isaiah Land is definitely a problem. And I know Tuck did a video on him as well early on in the process. And, it goes to show that the HBCU kids definitely deserve better than they're getting from the draft process. Marquise Bell looks very, very good out there. The HBCUs deserve a lot more love than they're getting. And I promise, as a product of a HBCU who went to Howard University, that I'm going to do my best to make sure that we get more profiles there at the HBCUs, because both of those guys should have been drafted for certain. Lastly, we're just going to overall close it up. Conclusion, I think that it was an ugly game. We had penalties, a lot of mental mistakes in the game with some of the young guys, but they're getting the experience and they're learning from it. There's a lot to build off of. That's pretty much it, man. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section, man. I'm out. Peace.